Hi YouTube. I am today going to do a 25 mostly bookish questions, just so that you guys can kind of get to know me and find out more of what I'm into and what I like. So starting off, favorite book. I separated this from favorite series, so this is a standalone book, and I think if I got made to choose, I would probably pick Fangirl by Rainbow Roll. I just love that book. I love everything about it. It's just amazing. Favorite series, I'm going to say the Selection series by Kiera Cass. That one is not quite done yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm probably going to enjoy the next one. There are books that I read in a day every time a new one comes out, so. This one wasn't bookish, but they asked what your Starbucks order is. I try to try something new every day, but if I'm in a rush or my boyfriend's going out to get something, I always tell him to get a iced hazelnut latte just because it's easy and he can't remember them. So that's what I get. It's pretty good. How many books do you have? This one I have probably about 100. Some of those are my son's middle grade books that we started collecting already, even though he's only 17 months. But we did start. And some of them are like we have like all of the Shakespeare books in all of his plays and sonnets in one book, and all the Narnia thing stories in one book. So it's somewhere around 100. How old were you when you started reading? I was probably around 8 or 9 when I got hooked. My mom was an English teacher, so we were reading from birth pretty much. But when I really started reading and going out and trying to find books that I would enjoy, I would probably say 8 or 9. The book that got me hooked was probably the Seven Sleeper series. I absolutely loved that book series, and it's another one that I want for my son if I can ever find it anywhere. What fictional world would you choose to go to? I'm going to say Ilya from the Selection, just because, yes, they're in rebellion, but there's no monsters, people aren't dying all the time. I feel like I have a higher life expectancy there. Would you rather be a professor at Hogwarts or a professional Quidditch player? I definitely say professor, just because I think it would be really cool to know all that stuff and everything. What Hogwarts house are you in? Every quiz I've taken, I get made Slytherin, which I don't necessarily care about, but then everyone thinks I'm evil, and I'm not. Worst book ever. This one, I went with the Astronaut Wives Club, and I don't know if it was just too hyped up for me. My friend really talked it up, and I felt like I had to force myself to finish it because she recommended it, and so I don't know if that was part of the issue or what, but on average, how many books do you read a month? I try to do about a book a week. I've been slacking on that lately, so I would say about 4. I think it really depends on the month. Best genre. Well, in my opinion, it's YA dystopian. That's what I read the most. But really, any YA is really just what is the best for me, at least. Favorite childhood book. I actually own this one still, and it is a Lullaby. This was my favorite book growing up, and I can't wait to have my son read it. It's by Marie Chapman, and it's just so cute, and it has all these cute little illustrations, and I don't know, I just really loved it. It's weird and funny and adorable. Let's see. Reading right now. Right now, I technically started Soundless by Rochelle Mead last night. I'm not really fully getting into this until next week. This weekend, I am trying to read both of these graphic novels, which I have Kingdom Hearts: The Final Mix by Shiro Amano. I don't know, I'm probably butchering that as well. And Heroes, Volume 1. Just because I saw them at the library and I grabbed them, and why not? Lee's favorite book this year was probably, it was actually, The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood. I actually picked this as our first book of the month for my book club, and it was just horrible. I hated the characters. I didn't really like the world. The description on the cover made it seem like it was going to be this amazing book. It had such promise. I just didn't like it. The last book you bought. We actually went out last night and got Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And he also got, technically for my son, but I'm stealing them, the Percy Jackson book set. I have to finish the last one, so I figure I'll do that. And he doesn't need to read them yet, so I stole them. Favorite place to read. I am a big bathtub reader. I sit there, I get my lavender essential oils, and I just relax and read, and I love it. The most inspirational book. This one is hard for me. I went with 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Just because you don't realize the effect you have on people. And you don't know if someone's having a horrible day or not. And that one just really hit home just on how you should act around other people and how you should treat other people. And so I picked that as my most inspirational book. Favorite fictional character. I picked Carmen from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants because I just liked how all she wanted was to keep her friends together. And she's funny, and she's not this stick-thin, beautiful model. I just loved her. I just really liked her. A book you couldn't finish. This was The Arena by Karen Hancock. This is another one that a friend recommended, and they read it like 4 or 5 times a year. And I think I made it to like chapter 3, and I just gave up on it, and I couldn't do it. I was not into it. I just couldn't. Least favorite book adaptation. This is a tie between Maze Runner and Divergent. I do like the movies. I just don't like how much they changed everything. As a movie, it's good. And as a book series, well, Divergent's really good. I wasn't a huge fan of the Maze Runner. But they just changed so much to make them different. I didn't really love it. Do I prefer bookstores or libraries? Because how cheap I am, libraries. But I would love to have the money that I could go to bookstores because I love looking through all the books and owning them and being able to read anytime I want. A book that made you angry. This was The Good Girl. I love this book. One of my favorite books that I read last year. And I still, every time I think about it, I'm like, what? Freaking out. It made me angry, though, just because of the ending. It was the craziest twist ever. In my opinion, at least at this point. And I recommend this book to everyone, just because I'm still in such shock over this book. But it kind of irritated me, just how it ended. Book you expected to like, but didn't. This was probably Alice in Zombieland. It was another one that I had such high hopes for. And I don't know, I just didn't really like it. The last book you read, I'm actually going to be doing a review probably like right after this. I just finished The Walking Dead Compendium last night, and this thing was crazy. I stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning reading it, which was a huge mistake since I have a 17-month-old, but it was worth it. It was so good. Those were the 25 bookish questions, so like and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Thank you.